Good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all? One more time, this is the DEI Community Recognition 2021. How y'all doing this afternoon, y'all? We've got amazing performances coming up. I know I've already started chatting. You can tell I'm a little gabby. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Michael Turner. I'm Associate Director, one of the Associate Directors at the Center for Educational Outreach. We're housed under the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. My role focuses on external K-12 partnership. Our office overall supports the university's missions on all things outreach as it relates to faculty, programs, deans, students, external, internal, et cetera. So again, I want to see how y'all doing. All right, see, you gave me the diva clap. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I love to see all the energy in here. It's been a while since we've been on campus, right? So it's a different vibe. Luckily, this is in a beautiful space, so I appreciate the folks that pulled this together. This morning, were you able to check out the initial piece this morning? That was awesome. Soledad, oh my goodness, the panel was amazing. So what I'm gonna do is start with a land acknowledgement, and then we're gonna get to what you all came here for, which is the performers, not myself talking a lot. The University of Michigan is located on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people. In 1817, the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations made the largest single land transfer to the University of Michigan. This was offered ceremonially as a gift through the Treaty of the Fort at the foot of the rapids so that their children could be educated. Through these words of acknowledgement, their contemporary and ancestral ties to the land and their contributions to the university are renewed and reaffirmed. So our first performance is a student performance, and it's called Listen. This piece centers around the conversation or lack thereof between those who are given a voice because of their privilege and those who are ignored because of their race, identity, and ethnicity. The performers are Paige Ashley, BS, or Bachelor of Science, LS&A, and Bachelor of Fine Arts, School of Music, Theater, and Dance, class of 2025. Whoop, whoop. If you're 2025 and you didn't get hyped, see, back in my, I'm not gonna say how old I am, but back in my day, you hear your year, you get a little lit, but we'll try that again. All right, and Madison Rogers, Bachelor's of Science, LS&A, Bachelor of Fine Arts, School of Music and Theater and Dance, class of 2025. What? All right, we'll try later. So y'all, without further ado, we'll bring them on stage. Thank you, Paige and Madison. That was awesome. And I'm biased. My undergrad was in school music theater and dance space, so y'all are rock stars. Thank you so much. Very powerful. Thank you. And I apologize, y'all. Before, as I started, I'm African American male, long dreadlocks, short green shirt, short sleeve green shirt, button up, brown pants. So our next person coming up, and he didn't want me to do an intro for him, and I get it because he's a rock star and he's been very busy today. But I'm still going to do an intro for you, Rob. I have to, man, because I've harassed you enough in this time, and we've got you a little longer, so I've got to get it in as I can. So, Rob, what can I say? I was very excited as Rob stepped into the role. I'll never forget. He walked into our Galleria space, and I was like, okay, this brother's got stature. All right, I need to. Definitely gonna have to show up and, because of all that and whatnot. Dressed nice too. I appreciated that part too. Previously, Lester Montz. Me and him were close, Rob. I didn't tell you that. We are close. So I hope for the same, and we're getting there. And I ran to Rob. Was like, man, I've got this energy, as you can tell. And I'm like, yo, man, we got to change the campus and do this and do that. He was like, cool, man, cool, real happy. He's just, like the little. You ever pictured the little dog jumping around? And he's like, shut up. He didn't do that to me, but I felt a little bit of that. After he stopped dodging me, we got really close, run into each other at the Union downstairs at Amos. I remember that one. I was like, hey, Rob. He was like, oh, my God, at my lunch break, really? It's cool. It's cool. But honestly, I've been at the university since '09, so I've been here for a long time. All this gray in my dreads are real, all that's real from the university. And Rob, you've made a heck of a difference, man. I mean, you really have. I remember initially these plans going out to the different schools and the accountability that came with that, and then you making sure your voice was heard from sharing your own pieces from the heart, as well as just showing up and expecting that from all of our officers. So I really appreciate you, man. I want to say that publicly. You know what I mean? So everyone can hear it. It's on record, so I can't take it back. But without further ado, I want to introduce our Chief Diversity Officer and Vice Provost for Equity and Inclusion, Robert Sellers. I want him to come up here and share some words with y'all.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I learned a new word. Stature is another word for, in all seriousness, Michael, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction and the great work and commitment that you've done during my time here and my opportunity to get to know you, as well as the great work that you and your colleagues do in CEO, as well as the great folks who work for the Offices of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. It has been my great honor and pleasure to have an opportunity to work with you and try not to mess it up too bad. This is an unbelievable moment. When we started this process almost about 6 years ago, at the beginning of this process, it was hard to imagine that we would get to this day. When we started this process, it wasn't always clear where we would end up. I could tell you we had a vision, but I couldn't tell you that we had a roadmap or blueprint. And it's been a long, hard fought 5 years to get to this point. Many of us in the room have not been here for the entire 5 years. In fact, most of our students here have been here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One thing that I will tell you is that these past 5 years are unique in history. I have been on somebody's campus since 1981. Yeah, I'm that old. And I have never experienced what we've experienced over the past 5 years as a country, as a nation, and what's happened on campus. Now, if we go back to the 60s, maybe. But we've gone from really the beginning of this process, sort of the end of the Obama presidency, through the Trump presidency, into the Biden presidency. And again, from a DEI perspective, we believe in diversity of political thought, but you cannot, on any objective measure, consider those three presidencies as being similar in any way, shape, or form. And that should provide you with a sense of how big of a swing we've actually gone through. Despite that, we started a process 5 years ago, 6 years ago really, to try to do nothing less than change the University of Michigan. To change it in such a way that diversity, equity, and inclusion would not only be core values, but also so that we can move to a day where it is just simply standard operating procedure. Now, I wish I could tell you that, yep, 5 years is up, we're there, we made it. There is no more racism, there's no more sexism, no more ableism, there is no more isms. We're done. I wish I could tell you that this was or is a hallelujah moment. But it is not. And when I get to points like this, it is always the wisdom of those who've come before me that have provided clarity and provided a path forward. So when I first agreed to take on the position of Chief Diversity Officer and Vice Provost, I called one of my mentors, a man by the name of Charles D. Moody, who was the very first person in a position like this back in 1987. And he got in this position because students protested and demanded such a position. And when I called him and told him that I was asked to do this and I was thinking about doing it, he told me to remember two things. First, he said, if you get in that position, make sure you make it very clear that all of this is not your job. That you make sure that you make everybody else do their job. They're not going to give you their salaries, so they should not give you the responsibility. So DEI is not my job or the person who will be in my job. It's all of our jobs. And then the second thing that he told me, and those of you, of course, who know or knew Chuck Moody would know that there were colorful four-letter words that were part of this. But he also said, don't let them expect that change is going to happen overnight. It took the University of Michigan 200 years to get to be like this. And for someone to expect that it's going to change overnight in 1 year, in 4 years, or 5 years is crazy. So the reality is, while we celebrate, and yes, we need to celebrate all that we've accomplished in these first 5 years, the reality is the work is nowhere near done. It's work that we will continue to have to do as long as we're here at the university. But make no mistake about it, we are not the same institution that we were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, if you said DEI, people would have thought that you were talking about the Digital Education Initiative. 5 years ago, if you said DEI was a core value of this institution, you would have gotten an argument. We can argue today about whether or not what we have done is enough or is the right thing, But there is no longer an argument that DEI is part of the mission of this institution. And you know how I know this? It's because we have raised expectations. So whenever we hear about how the university has fallen short on any number of issues, the first thing that is laid out is, well, the university says it's about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they're not living up to that. For those of you who are new, let me tell you how important just that change is. Before, making the argument that the university hadn't lived up to DEI was something that, what's that about? That's not what our mission is. We're leaders and best. That's no longer the case. We have made the case, and now we've created the infrastructure, and most importantly, we've created an instrument that will allow us to make the university the kind of place that it is supposed to be. The thing about the DEI strategic plan isn't about all of the wonderful initiatives that are part of it, which is all great, but it was designed purposefully to be subversive. It is the planning process for DEI 1.0 and the effort for DEI 2.0 is the most inclusive process of any university process that anyone I know can remember. When we did DEI 1.0, we had a slogan. We went out, we had town hall meetings, focus groups, within the schools and colleges as well. We interacted with faculty, staff, students, members of the community. We even set up our own little clunky social media platform. Anybody who was part of the university community writ large could submit an idea, a thought, something that should be a part of those DEI plans. So when you go online and you see those huge plans and you're like, oh, 2,800 different initiatives, where did all that come from? That came from y'all. Not you, but y'all. Because the plan was never Mark Schlissel's plan. The plan was never Rob Seller's plan. The idea was the plan was your plan. So we're about to move into DEI 2.0. And you have an opportunity to make your ideas known. You have an opportunity to have input in that process. And one way that you can do that will be in October. We're sending out surveys, climate surveys, where again, you have an opportunity to express what you feel, how you're experiencing, and what we should be directing in terms of the next phase of this process. So oftentimes people come up and say, well, Rob, DEI is fine, but it doesn't really include international students. Or DEI doesn't really include the disability community. Or it doesn't really include, you name it, it doesn't include. Well, it includes what you include in this process. Because the plan itself as I said before, is subversive. And not only is it subversive, but it is a model of what inclusion actually looks like. And it will only be as successful as your participation. Now, I get it. I often hear, why should we have to be the ones making that change? Why does it fall on the folks that are suffering the most to make the change? Why doesn't the institution make the change? Why isn't the institution doing this? Or why isn't the institution doing that? I have two answers for you. The first answer is that's a very ahistorical view of how the world works. There's no movement in history where the folks who felt everything was fine, who was privileged, was like, oh, okay, why don't we give up some power? Why don't we give up some space? It will always take an unfair, inordinate amount of work for those who care to make a difference and those for whom the difference makes the biggest difference. So while that's not fair, that is the reality. That is the reality. The second reason is that, would you really want it any other way? Would you really want it any other way? Would you not want to be driving that change? Would you not want to be the ones that are shaping the future of this institution? Because it's your kids, your grandkids, who are going to either reap the benefits of the change or suffer the consequences for the stagnation. So I think I want to end here with one last thought to leave you with. And that's, we have an opportunity to do something great. We have an opportunity to not only change the University of Michigan, but we have an opportunity to have an impact in higher education. Because University of Michigan is uniquely situated, rightly or wrongly, such that what we do, other people are looking at. Remember, every time you ask the university to do something, and you see the university as being separate from you, then you're giving up your right. Because this is your university. You don't ask your parents to clean up your house or say it's unfair that my parents haven't given me the kind of house that I want. Because it's your house. It's your university. And do not fall for the okie doke, as we used to say back in the olden days. Because every time you boil it down to, well, you all need to do this for me, then you're reinforcing the notion that this is not your university. Then like, okay, I'll give you what you need or what you say you want. You're a customer. You're not an owner. Remember, this is your university. So I want to thank you all for coming. And before I do that, before I go, I do want to also thank Deputy Chief Diversity Officer Katrina Wade Golden. Please stand. Nicole Burnside. Where's Nicole? Tina Jordan. Is Tina here? Tyne Lucas. Oh, there you all are. Oh. Judy Schabel. Where's Judy? And Jeff Witt. It's Jeff. And all the others who've worked so hard to make sure that we not only have this wonderful opportunity to fellowship and come together and celebrate, but have worked to help coordinate the many, many events that will be happening over the next month in celebration of our DEI Summit. It is without their work and so many others' work that without their work, we would not be here. So eat, drink, be merry, celebrate tonight. For tomorrow, we got work to do. Thank you.
All righty, so we've got another student performance. And y'all heard the man, y'all. He said y'all. October, that climate survey will be coming out. We need to fill it out. I mean, that's literally how the plans are developed, how the voices are heard. So make sure that you're participating and doing your due diligence. So the next student performance is entitled My People. Ricky Ian Gordon ethereally sets this Langston Hughes poem and creates an atmosphere of love and appreciation for the eyes, faces, and souls of my people. The performers are both Shimmin, Master of Music, School of Music, Theater, and Dance, class of 2022. There we go. All right. See, don't even know if folks are part of the class, but I appreciate y'all because they're like, we're going to show up for the class. And Natalie Sherer. Looks like Dance Masters, School of Music, Theater, and Dance, class of 2022.
Faces of my people, of my people, the stars are beautiful, so the eyes of my people. Of my people, beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also are the souls of my people. The night is beautiful, so the faces of my people, of my people, stars are beautiful, so the eyes of my people, beautiful, also is the sun. Beautiful, also are the souls of my people. Of my people.
That was awesome. Thank y'all so much for that performance. Our next student performance is K-Motion, an all-girls K-pop cover dance team, and we perform dances to Korean pop/hip hop songs. So without further ado, welcome to the stage, K-Motion.
원래 나는 좀 참을성이 없는 몸 솔직한 게 좋은 걸 But you gotta know yeah, yeah. 달콤하기만 해도 싫어 So check it 무너져 거적한 거는 나도 구분해 yeah. 반짝할 거면 시작도 없는 거 Sometimes 내가 생각해도 A7-11 조각이 완전 커피 나와 똑같아 나만 잘 알아줘
That was awesome. Thank you so much. Let's give it up again for K-Motion, y'all. So as Rob mentioned, a lot of the DEI work, he said all of the work, we need to own it. And I think this portion, I'm really excited for it because it's some remarks from folks from our campus community with some of the amazing things and experiences that they've done. So I will introduce these individuals and they will share some remarks. These are experiences and reflections from members of the campus community who are involved with DEI efforts. So without further ado, to the stage, Dr. Todd Ester, Assistant Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and Clinical Assistant Professor, School of Dentistry, DEI Lead. Frederique Laubepin, PhD, Assistant Director, Instructional Services, School of Public Health, Faculty Liaison for Inclusive Teaching, and Chanel Barnes, BA, LSA, Class of 2023. Class of 2023. All right, there we go. Y'all make sure y'all eating the cupcakes. You got to get hype a little bit. All right, Student Advisory Planning Group members, please come to the stage.
Fleecy locks and dark complexion cannot forfeit nature's claim. Skin may differ, but affection dwells in black and white the same. Were I as tall to reach the pole or grasp the ocean with my span, I must be measured by my soul. The mind is a standard of the man. These words by Copper and Watts, written in the 1700s, were often used by Dr. Martin Luther King in the Civil Rights Movement. And they are still as powerful today as we call for diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, and the dismantling of racism and any other possible ism on our campus and in our world. As has been stated, I am from the School of Dentistry, and I am honored to have served for the past 5 years as a DEI lead, along with my current co-lead, Ms. Natalie Brown. We are fortunate here at the school because I've been an officer for diversity on this campus for over 15 plus years. And as Dr. Sellers stated, I have never, ever, ever seen anything as move so quickly for justice and inclusion, so aligned, so concentrated, and so positive a movement for justice efforts on our campus than the 5-year plan. So thank you, Dr. Sellers and President Schlissel and Provost Collins and all the powers that be and Deputy Vice Provost Katrina Wade Golden. Thank you, all of my co-DI leads. To be a part of this community is real power. And I am so happy for the planners of tonight's event that our students are here in the room. Oh yeah, they are here in the room. And let me just echo a few words for you from the perspective of somebody with a few grades in their hair. But when I came on the campus, as a graduate student from Morehouse College, had to get that in, Doc. Just to say hello to each other on the campus seemed like it was an act of a movement. I came from a place where you expect to say hello, right, to people at a HBCU and many other schools that you all come from. You may have come from a tradition where it's like, hello, good to see you. And you would say hello on this campus at that time, and they would say, And I didn't understand that. But over these years with the DEI plan, I must state a few facts, and these are those. That our leadership, our dean, Dean Lori McCauley, our department chairs, our regents at the School of Dentistry, everyone is activated to move for justice in this movement. It's not just the office of the diversity officer anymore. It is all of us. And that has happened, and it's clear because they have their own goals. So we've seen our faculty have to now report as a part of their annual review what they're doing for DEI. That's a part of their faculty review. For service, for research, for teaching, they have to report it. We see how they also, when you're applying for a position at our school, have to write a letter around what have you done before you apply for this position in the efforts of DEI. in your research, in your teaching, in your learning. So students, the faculty that are coming to our campus in these times, they are impacted to do just what you demand of them, to be able to be inclusive for all. I'm also thankful for the secret sauce that's in the School of Dentistry, and it's called our Diversity and Inclusion Multicultural Affairs Committee. It's a committee of students, staff, and faculty who have now been meeting for over 27 years. 27 years. To break down the silos of what a student's thinking or a faculty or staff is thinking, to come together and hear those complaints in real time. It's allowed us to be active and responsive to things like the Black Lives Matter movement, the movement against Muslim students on the campus, and the anti-Asian movements. It helps us deal with ableism and the issues for our LGBTQ communities in a very affronting, a very positive, and a timely way. So I'm thankful for what we have been able to do and the foundation that's been built, but I am reminded that there's much more work to do. And I'm reminded by that in the thoughts and the minds of our students. Because at the dental school, the first African-American female to graduate from a U.S. dental school was Dr. Ida Gray. And she graduated, you all, I didn't say y'all, Doc, you all, in 1890. The first African-American female to graduate at dental school in the United States of America, Dr. Ida Gray, graduated in 1890. At a time when many women in many states, it was illegal to get an education. For people of color, illegal in many states in 1890. But on your campus, she was being educated, and she was being supported by her classmates and allies and deans and faculty, graduating in 1890. What does that say about how long this arc of justice has been moving at this school? A very long time. But I'm reminded that there's still more names like Dr. Gray's and the first American Indian to graduate from our school, U.S. dental school, Dr. Jessica Rickert in 1975, the first Native American to graduate from a dental school in 1975. Just think about the years between those two. But there's still names like Ida Gray's are out there, and there's still some Jessica Rickerts out there, and there's still some Manny Lopez's out there. There's still people who need to have the light of education given to them. So students, staff, and faculty in the room, I join with you. I'll link up in arms. Let's continue to struggle into DEI 2.0, and let's never give up, because there's much work to do. Can I say just a go blue and a go DEI at the same time? Go blue. Go DEI. I feel better now. Thank you.
I should totally have asked to either go first or go very last, because you all make it super hard. You're super tough acts to follow. Between Dr. Sellers, Todd, the amazing student performances, I feel like this is going to be a big letdown. But anyway, good afternoon. I am so very pleased to be here with you today to celebrate 5 years of DEI progress at the university, 5 years of beautiful growth and achievements, big and small. My name is Frederique. I'm an instructional designer, and I'm also the assistant director of instructional services at School of Public Health and a faculty liaison for inclusive teaching at Public Health. So my world is the world of instruction, and in this world, the last 5 years have brought a remarkable and hopefully lasting culture change. It's been truly, this DEI effort has been truly transformative. And I swear I'm not plagiarizing Dr. Sellers' speech, but when I first joined the staff of the School of Public Health as an instructional designer 6 years ago, I vividly remember struggling to convince instructors to pay attention to issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion in their teaching. But the very instructors who 6 years ago would tell me, for example, that they didn't need to consider accessibility because in their 30 years of teaching, they swore up and down that they'd never had a student with a disability in their classes. These instructors are now the ones who proactively seek out my team's help to create inclusive learning environments and experiences. They're the ones who have not only adopted D&I best practices, but are convincing others, convincing their colleagues to implement these practices as well. What a remarkable change. And I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to be part of this remarkable transformation that we have witnessed and we will continue to hopefully witness and be a part of in the coming years. This change happened, at least at Public Health, through what I once heard described in a completely different context as gentle persuasion relentlessly applied. D&I efforts at our school are wide-ranging, and they cover a variety of ways in which we develop a more inclusive community. In the classroom, what's been instrumental in shifting attitudes and practices is, among many things, the development of a continuing professional education program for our faculty and staff. This is a program that requires basically everybody at the school to complete at least 8 hours of D&I training each year, and completion of this requirement is incorporated into the merit and performance review processes. Gentle persuasion, relentlessly applied. To fulfill this requirement, faculty and staff can take advantage of the many excellent opportunities for training at the university, and our instructional services team has supported the program by offering a robust in-house workshop series every term as well. This is a series in which we cover a wide range of topics in pedagogy, instructional design, and instructional technology, all of which weave in D&I considerations and qualify for CPE credit. So whether we're talking about Canvas or Poll Everywhere, or how to write a syllabus, or how to lead good class discussions, we infuse D&I into every conversation we have with our faculty, and we model what we preach too. Gentle persuasion, relentlessly applied. This gentle persuasion doesn't always happen through sort of, top-down efforts. And so at the school, it sometimes takes the form of faculty working with their colleagues and doing peer review, conducting peer reviews of their teaching, reflecting on their experiences in the classroom and implementing changes or strengthening existing D&I teaching practices. And sometimes, what we tend to forget is how to leverage what might be our greatest resource, which is our students and their boundless creativity and energy and passion for some of the work that we are all collectively doing. So yet another way to gently persuade and bend the arc of instruction. I swear to God, I wasn't trying to plagiarize you either. Bend the arc of instruction toward more D&I is by actually leveraging our students themselves. Our school has a program that awards students with mini grants to develop D&I programming, and over the last few years, they have made some really important contributions to advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion at the School of Public Health, including putting together several events that have highlighted the intersection of racism and public health. And then we also got an unexpected boost in the instructional design world from a very unexpected place, which is COVID, right? The teaching and the quality of instruction were brought into relief by this crisis. And there has been a renewed attention to teaching that has given us an unprecedented opportunity to bring pedagogical best practices into focus and further hone in on DE&I in our classrooms, remote or otherwise. And nowhere has this been felt more acutely than I think at public health, because this is a public health crisis. And there are such tight connections between public health and racism, for example. And this is something that our faculty feel very deeply about, and it's been an unexpected way for us to really hone in on D&I in teaching. Because at the end of the day, great teaching is teaching that's attentive to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and one cannot exist without the other. So these efforts, as well as our broader D&I work, have had a measurable impact on faculty teaching practices and students' learning experiences at School of Public Health. This is something we see in the quality of our Canvas sites, the care that faculty put into designing their courses, and what students are telling us in surveys and course evaluations. And yet, as Dr. Sellers pointed out, and I think we are all aware, we recognize that this is only the beginning and that much more work is needed. But these efforts, these incredible, remarkable efforts in the last 5 years have given us a foundation we can build upon as we do the necessary work to create a more anti-racist culture at our school and advance the school's mission to advance health and racial equity by training future public health professionals. So I feel blessed to be here in this moment in history at this school, surrounded by people like you to be doing this work. Thank you.
Harry, how is everybody feeling today? Guys, we are making history. We are at a predominantly white institution, and we care about DEI. My name is Chanel Barnes, and I am a junior at this institution. I study communications and media with a minor in action and social change. And honestly, with this education, I always find myself in white classes where I am the only black student. And I am the one that always have to bring the leverage of my experience so people can learn. When is it that my experience is going to be taught not just by my lived experience, but by people that actually care in faculty and in the people that create these policies? When is it that we're going to get some action instead of the students speaking up? When is it when I am going to not feel isolated because of my skin color, because of the things that I need, because of the things that I feel every day when I go home, having to not only work towards my education, but work towards having to fight around the social inequalities that people already have against me, or already fight against the stereotypes that people already have against my skin color. We say DEI, but when I came to the University of Michigan, I thought it was just a brand. Can I be honest? I thought it was just a brand because my lived experience every day is going to a class that I need for my major and having to educate students on what DEI is, or what a predominantly white institution is. People have the privilege of not knowing what a PWI even stands for. But that was my education when I was even applying here. I'm getting sick and tired of us speaking and talking about the issues with no resolution being a part of my lived experience. I am a true vessel standing here today. This is my experience. We are fighting for people's lives. You are a human being right now. Think about you in my shoes, not seeing your skin color in a class, not seeing your skin color walking down the campus, not seeing your skin color being represented in places of power. I'm getting sick and tired. I'm getting sick and tired of going around the bush, beating around the bush of things that needs to happen for people's lived experience, people's single stories, and people's lives. There is a famous TED Talk named The Danger of a Single Story. If you haven't seen it, it's about what a single story is and how this can bring a disadvantage of us working towards equality. We all have a single story that we live with every day. I have a single story. Yes, I'm an African-American woman, but I also deal with the single story of being a part of the services of students of disabilities. This is a social identity that is not seen, but it's something that I deal with day to day. Feeling inadequate already with my skin color, but then also feeling inadequate that I won't be able to handle these classes. It's something that I always put under the rug, that my social identity with my disability will never belong in any space because it equated to isolation. My single story at the University of Michigan has 3 feelings: loneliness, fear, and despair. And I'm just being honest. I wish I could come on here and talk to you about how I feel welcomed at U of M. And yes, I do. And this is why we're here right now, to fight towards efforts to bring DEI on campus. And I really appreciate this space. And I really appreciate what we are doing, what we have already accomplished as a university. But there is still work to do. And us students, specifically people of color, are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when we see DEI initiatives and summits happening, we just hope it is a lived experience and not something that is a brand. I saw community here at the University of Michigan. My community was the student advisory board for the 2021 DEI Summit. When I joined when I was a freshman, I was apprehensive already because I already felt like DEI was something that was a brand and not something lived. But I took the chance and wanted to see what is faculty actually doing to bring change on this campus. On the board, I got to meet Tyne Lucas and Mary Rose, 2 individuals that are faculty here at the University of Michigan that fights towards equality for all students. I needed to see this as an individual on campus because I felt like I was not belonged and that my rights was not being taken serious. And when I saw their work and them taking overtime to fight for my rights, that made me more empowered to know that I am a part of a community at U of M that wants DEI to happen and to not just be one single story, but the full story of everybody's lives. I'm still trying to figure out my single story today. Outside of my social identities, I am a student. And I am a 20-year-old that is trying to figure out what is she going to do with this communications degree? What is she going to do with her life? Why am I even standing here talking to you guys right now? But I will say, each single story comes with a lesson. And I think that the lesson that I'm learning at the University of Michigan is that people care, and care can bring unity, and unity can bring power, and power lives within us. It lives within you. You are not defined by the social inequalities that lives within this world. We are not defined by what ignorant people have to say about you because of your social identity. I am not defined by whatever biases that you have of me. I am Chanel Lana Barnes, and I am more than my social identities. And I'm learning that with my single story, that I can come to you and share it so we can have DEI be the fuller story of our lives and not just one lived experience. Let's all come together and, yes, celebrate the initiatives that we have seen at the University of Michigan that has been accomplished, like having race and ethnicity courses being established in different majors than LSA. Let us continue to fight on, and I don't Look, our emotional well-being matters, okay? So please don't get lost in the sauce. But just know that when you share your single story, it does matter. And we get to know fully what the true story is and not just one narrative. Thank you for listening to my narrative today, and I hope you remember what I said today and remember my eyes standing on this stage, that I am a lived person living in this world, trying to navigate her life on campus. I live a real experience of being Black at UMich, having to fight other than my classes, but fight my social identities that people may have negative to say about them. I'm just here to share my heart and know that your single story matters. Thank you.
All right, y'all, how you doing? Yeah. Michael has passed the mic to me for the rest of the night. Chanel, I just want to say thank you for sharing your heart and your story, for your courage and your power, and the narrative that you are making a difference, and you are. So thank you. Thank you so much. My name's Angie Stewart, and I work with organizational learning, and I have the privilege of partnering with Katrina and Rob and all the efforts to help provide education and learning experiences for our faculty and staff to help engage in this powerful work. So I'm super happy to be here tonight, but y'all are waiting for this great performance coming up. So I'd like to introduce to the stage Andrew Otchere. Andrew is going to perform a spoken word piece that he wrote in response to the tragic murder of Ahmaud Arbery in February of 2020. And this is called #IRun.
I feel like I've been running since before I could even remember. If you were to ask my mama, she might tell you I started running before I could even walk. There was never an excuse to not run. I mean, nobody could ever tell me that we didn't have enough money to go for a run or that I'd have to find a ride back home, and so I stuck with it. And I got pretty damn good at it too, okay? Running was my vice. Running was my escape. My ability to run opened doors and gave me opportunities that I didn't always think were available. I remember when I won my first track meet, running the 400-meter dash. A student journalist interviewed me and asked me to describe what it felt like when I was running. I knew exactly the answer she wanted to hear, and so I gave it to her. With every step I took, I felt like I was floating away from my problems, free from the stresses of life. Truthfully, though, had I been honest with her, I'd have told her it was painful. My body ached with every step, sore as could be. Most times it's so hard, I feel like I can't breathe. But I keep running because, unlike some, I realize it's a blessing that I still can. She then asked me a question that left me stunned. She said, "Why do you run?" Why do I run? Truth be told, it got to a point where it was no longer fun for me, so why did I do it? I did it because I could, because I was good at it. I mean, after all, that's all I'm good for, right? Not tall enough for basketball, not big enough for football, so running was the only thing I could do, right? Hell, every classroom I set foot in, it felt like people were ready to see me fail before I began, and so I ran. Because running was the only place where people expected to see me succeed, and so I did. Well, if you were to ask me today why I run, I'd tell you running has become a privilege that I didn't even know I'd been taken for granted. I don't look at it with the same discontent I once did. What was once the key that opened doors of opportunity had now become another reason for suspicion of my character. I don't run with the same careless energy I used to. I jog. Because unless I'm on a track, seeing someone like me sprinting through your neighborhood is just another facet of evidence for a crime that I was deemed guilty of before I could even plead my case. I run wearing bright colors or sporting my college t-shirt because it's an emblem that deems me as non-threatening. Contradictory to my black skin that screams criminal before you've even given me a chance to share a piece of my story. Otherwise, every time my feet hit the ground for a sprint or a jog or even a walk, I'd be crippled with the fear of becoming the next hashtag for you to use and feel like you've contributed to this never-ending fight for our survival. I run because even though some choose to believe that my black skin is bulletproof, my skin has been beaten, battered, and bruised beyond repair. My black skin has weathered so much hate, hearing another innocent joke might just be the thing that breaks me into a million pieces. My heart can only take so much aching, and my eyes can no longer bear to see my brothers and sisters being killed before my eyes on a viral video. I run for the mothers and fathers, for the sisters and brothers, for the sons and daughters whose households don't shine as bright as they once did. For the heartache and the heartbreak of seeing someone who meant the world to you, someone you held in your arms, someone you coddled and prayed for, being ripped from this world with no justification. I mean, why should any mother have to tell their child not to wear hoodies outside at night because it labels them a culprit? Or not to play with toy guns because the connotation of any weapon in their hands makes them a thug before their right to bear arms comes to mind? I run because as much as you want to tell yourself that you don't see color, it's the first thing I see when I look in the mirror each morning. It's who I am. It's a part of my identity. So if you can't love me, respect me, protect me, dark skin and all, then your complacency has no place in my life and it's only fitting the issue at hand. I run for every black child who is still learning to love their skin in the midst of what seems like a never-ending fight for our survival. We were born into this beautiful black skin and sent into a world that nobody prepared us for. We were taught the lessons: hands on the wheel, no sharp movements, keep your IDs on you at all times. But nobody could prepare us for the way it feels to see someone of your complexion being murdered before your eyes time and time again. Wondering if our skin is synonymous to the lesser than, or if this hatred and this evil is a byproduct of a nation that boasts of liberty and justice for all. Feeling like I needed to dilute my blackness for you to enjoy the taste of my name in your mouth. Yet no amount of code switching could make me any less black than I am. I run for every black child who has had to shapeshift their complexion and minimize themselves, their struggles, and their pain at the expense of white comfortability. Young black child, please know that you are beautiful, you are valued, and you matter. I run because while we were fighting for our lives and barely staying afloat, you drowned us out with combative rhetorics. Black Lives Matter became Blue Lives Matter, became All Lives Matter, became your attempt to mask your racism with inclusivity. Well, what good is inclusivity and unity when our greatest concerns will never be your priority? We were ridiculed for taking a knee in solidarity, gave you the peaceful protest you wanted, and in return, you took a knee on our necks and squeezed out every last breath. And so, I run for every black boy whose joy was stolen from them, for every black girl who was robbed of their magic, and for every black being whose voice was silenced. I run because every black life is important, because every black life matters, because all black lives matter. I run because I refuse to be silent. I run. Thank you.
Andrew, thank you. Give it up for Andrew one more time, please. So happy to introduce this next student performance. Jazz is a 4-letter word. So this is a contemporary Black American music song written and originally performed by Nicholas Payton. And tonight we have the privilege of hearing this from Philip Bookman, Ben Wood, Eli Heinen, and Ben LaFoe.
Jazz is a 4-letter word.
Well, thank you so much. I think I could just go on listening to that for quite a while here this evening. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. So it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to the stage Dr. Katrina Wade Golden. So she is the Deputy Chief Diversity Officer and Director of the implementation for the DEI strategic plan. So you got to slow down for a minute. I am going to say a few words about you. I remember the first time I was introduced to Katrina. This vibrant energy filled the room, and I said, "Who is that?" Well, that's Katrina Wade Golden. Katrina, we are so grateful. I am personally grateful for your steadfast leadership that is marked by innovation, a commitment to excellence, and your ability to articulate a clear vision for us. We are grateful for your integrity, your passion, and your inspiration. You have often said that we are the heart of the work, and if we are the heart, you are definitely the heartbeat. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Angie. You're going to make me tear up right before I come on the stage. But thank you. First, thank you so much to Philip, Eli, Ben Lafo, and Ben Wood. Let's give them another hand. Love that jazz. So good evening. And before I give some brief remarks, I want to offer a few words of thanks. First, I'd like to thank our two MCs for this evening. We had Michael Turner earlier today, and now we have Angie Stewart, and they've done such a wonderful job. Thank you so very much. And we know that, this venue was the ideal location, and so we have the people listening in this room and those who are listening throughout the building. I just want to offer my heartfelt thanks for your coming out and celebrating with us as a community. I was just telling the table that one of the things that I do in my spare time is plan parties. And so if ever there's a party, family far and near, they call me. And I'm so thrilled about how this all came together to be in a space where we can share food, fun, and fellowship. That's so important given the nature of the work that we do. To take time, to take pause, and to be with each other and to commune and fellowship and celebrate in this space what we've been able to accomplish thus far on our journey to becoming a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive university. So before I get any further into my comments, I'd like to stop for a moment, and I'd like to acknowledge that today is Angie's birthday. So happy birthday, Angie, and thank you for spending your special day here with us. And I'm corny, so we're gonna sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angie. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for spending your special day with us. We know you could have been many places, but spending it here with us is such a special gift. I want to also give a hearty thanks to all of our speakers and student performances. As we reflect on those performances that occurred today, even during the community assembly and then at the DI Leads Luncheon, we have such talented students. Give them all a round of applause. So to all of our speakers and student performances who've made this such an entertaining and festive event. And it just did my heart good to hear our DEI Leads community. Your representatives from our DEI Leads community just speak to the work and not only how it's transforming the schools and the colleges and the units across campus, but how it's transforming you as individual. And that has always been the goal, that we become better together. Better units, better schools, better colleges, better people, as we work in partnership to make this the place that we all want to be. So thank you for those efforts. This has truly been a fantastic way to acknowledge the many accomplishments of our 5-year DEI strategic plan. I'd like to thank all of those who made today's event possible, including Ricky Morrow Spitzer at the School of Music, Theater, and Dance, who helped with identifying student performers, the Festival Planning Committee. Do we have any members of the Festival Planning Committee in the house? Okay. So just wanting to extend a hearty thank you for their efforts. And I did this in the DEI luncheon, but I also want to do it in this space too, to give a special thank you to Tyne Lucas and Judy Shable. Is Judy around? Okay, but Judy Shable was here just up until a little bit ago, and I would describe these are members of my core team, so it's myself, Tyne, and Judy, and I would describe us as a small but mighty team. And so, pulling today's event, not to mention the production of our DEI progress report, which is online. So go ahead and look at that, all those accomplishments, and all at the same time getting ready to deploy a campus-wide climate survey. So, it's been a lot of work, but, when you're doing what you love and, being up at 2 a.m. with emails flying doesn't feel so bad. So just thank you for that. Let's see. I also want to thank the Office of University Development, who helped us with the logistics from all the events today, whether it was the community assembly, the DEI Leads Luncheon, and the festival that we're having today. They've been really key partners. And there's been so many others, just a host of others who've contributed to making this event a success. So, Rob and then the DEI leads, they came up and they talked a bit about what we've been able to accomplish in DEI 1.0, how the work is yet incomplete, and we have much more to do. So I'm not going to belabor that point anymore, but I do want to point our attention to what's ahead. So this year, we are situated in our evaluation year. So it is the opportunity for us to reflect on all that has happened over the 5 years, to see what worked, and then have an opportunity to double down on that in 2.0, to see what didn't work and have an opportunity to reframe or replace what was once there. But all of this is undergirded by the idea of hearing your voices. So we'll be launching a series of community conversations starting in the winter term, where we're going to invite your input. So in addition to the climate survey, where we're getting your assessment of change over time, we want to create the spaces and the opportunities very much like what we did 5 years ago, where we bring you to those town halls, bring you to those focus groups, and you tell us what we need to prioritize as we look forward to DEI 2.0. We have the foundation, we have the infrastructure, and as CDO Seller said today at the DEI Leads Lunch, we have the opportunity to be more strategic. What didn't we cover in DEI 1.0? What can we lift up and amplify in DEI 2.0? So those are the types of questions that we'll be asking the campus community. And then after we get through this year and evaluate our efforts, we will launch into another year of full-scale planning. So asking those 50 units to prepare new plans that reflect what their community has told them for a launch in fall 2023 of DEI 2.0. So the work doesn't stop. The DEI leads will continue to cultivate that work across campus. And wherever your hand you see your hand to contribute, do so. You can tell I have a history in the church. So whether that's the usher board, the choir, if you have a willing hand, touch that auxiliary. So, and now to close us out tonight, please join me, excuse me, in welcoming Haley Dortch, who will be performing I'm Here. And I'm Here is a song that describes the journey of self-love and finding that beauty lies within you and knowing that you alone are enough. Please join me in welcoming Haley Dortch.
Hello. Shall I take this? Bring it. All right. I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to love. I've got my sister. I can feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine. I know that she still loves me. Got my children, can't hold them now. They may not be here, but they still mine. I hope they know I still love them. Got my house, it still keep the cold out. Got my chair when my body can't hold out. Got my hands doing good like they're supposed to. Showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to. Got my eyes, though they don't see as far now. They see more about how things really are.
I'm beautiful. And I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haley. DEI, we are here. We are here. We are here. And we're beautiful too. Well, thank you so much. Please feel free to stay around. There's food, more fellowship, but that concludes our program. Thank you for coming out.